Good morning, my loves. Happy Friday. I'm in the woods, Tim in the woods. Friday Ascension update, and I do believe the sun is kind of oozing its way into Virgo today, or maybe tomorrow, but the cooling vibrations of the more sensible and grounded Virgoan energy is definitely, I can feel it here. And it's the first morning that I've needed to put a fleece on because it's been quite chilly comparatively to the way that it has been. So feels like autumn, early autumn is upon us. And I want to talk about artificial intelligence today, okay, because it's coming up for me more and more. I know there is a very divided, mixed field of opinions about artificial intelligence out there, and it also cropped up, which was quite surprising to me, as one of the main core fears that I brought through with Djwal Khul. That wasn't that long ago. So we identified, and this was literally just skimming over the surface of what we deal with and what we have kind of installed within us on a daily basis. There were 22 core fears. I mean, if you go back through my YouTube videos a little bit, you'll see that I've spoken about it. I've done a WAGS, a Wednesday Ascension group support about it. I've also brought it into the work that I've done with the Zoom workshops. But I think it was number 10 on the list of core fears. AI, artificial intelligence. Now, I know the spiritual field is very mixed about this. There's people out there that are like, yeah, bring it on, artificial intelligence, great. And there's other people that are going, keep that away from me. I'm just not interested in the slightest. And then there's people in the middle, like myself. I'm neither positive nor negative about it. I'm very undecided. Me personally, and this is going to answer the questions of quite a few people that have commented on my Ascension posts, or have even gone a step further and emailed me directly about it. Very occasionally, my assistant Melissa will use AI to enhance and create images, but I will always write, say for example my newsletter, or if there's anything that I do, I don't write as much as I used to, say back in 2015 and 2016, around the kind of times that I was writing the books with Diana Cooper. Everything was done in Word, like banging it out on the computer. Yes, I'll use a spell check so that I don't look like I can't spell properly, but that's as far as it goes. And it's the same till this point in time. When I write my newsletter now at the beginning of the month, which some of you receive because you signed up for it, all of that is done in the same way, the traditional kind of grinding through the 1,000 words, making sure that the punctuation, the spelling is correct, which is a service that's been already kind of installed into Word documentation for a decade now. But I've not used AI, and I've sat here and I've asked myself why I'm not particularly drawn to it. And unlike some of you that will be listening to this, I don't have an aversion to it, but then I'm not drawn to using it either. I'm in the middle, and the way that I believe that artificial intelligence can be used is in exactly the same way that magic can be used, or a crystal can be used. Whatever energy you put into it, you will receive. So if you are using AI to bring through words, pictures, anything for the betterment of this world, that is how that intelligence will respond to you. It will basically hone itself around the energies that are available and what you are asking it to do. And the same applies to negativity of any variety. The control systems that are being put in place, the continual observation, the the one of the things that's so prevalent at the moment is the fake, the fake personas that we see online. There's YouTubers or so-called YouTubers or people on Facebook and Instagram who are actually not real. They're artificial intelligence, and it's very clever at mimicking voices, at kind of basically copying work, and that's when it's used negatively. But the field and the system expands a lot further than that. I understand it. So on a Lightworker level, we're faced with a bit of a conundrum. We are being faced with what is authentic, what's real, what's organic and what's inorganic. And this is very triggering for a lot of people. So again, I've had questions asked to me, are you using AI to write? Are your posts AI orientated? Some of them very slightly doctored on a picture level, but never the writing. And I certainly don't use AI in my videos. So as I am talking to you now, this is about as unedited and as raw as you're going to get. I have always, right from the very start, used one take with my videos. Okay, there's no fancy writing at the beginning or any kind of glitz or pizzazz with it at all. I press video, I talk, and then I stop it at the end, and then I upload it, and I'll put a bit of writing in there as well. And that's a system that I've been using, and maybe call me old-fashioned, it works for me, and I shall continue to do so. So this aversion to AI that we have, we are faced with a world at the moment that is filled with fakeness. There is a lot of fakeness out there. There's a lot of that charlatan energy where people are using AI to mimic or to basically expand what they're doing, and it's not their work. It's the work of a computer mind. It's the work of artificial intelligence. And in some cases, I think about a year ago, people who follow my page, you lovely souls, were messaging me saying, I've had a message from you. I've had a message from you that sounds like your voice, and you're talking about banking systems collapsing. So these systems are very clever. They can mimic a voice. They can write words that sound like the original author or the author that it's intended to be, but they lack the soul vibration. So this is where we start to really have to dip into our abilities to discern. If you're looking at something and it doesn't feel quite right, if it's ringing the alarm bells or it doesn't sound like the authentic words or the voice of whoever you would normally be listening to, the chances are that you're going to have to kind of look at that a little bit deeper. But also bear in mind, there is a lot of installed fear, and the rationality that we would normally use is being very distorted because of the amount of stuff that we're being presented with simultaneously. The fear of AI, I believe, goes back to the fall of Atlantis, and as many things do, we're kind of going round robin with this all the time. There's so many things that are coming up at the moment that we're being triggered by. We're being triggered by the actions of the matrix in the field, the people that are coming up, the things that we've experienced before, maybe the memories, the cellular memories that we have installed in our DNA, the soul connections that we're making, going all the way back to like the 10,000 years back to the fall. All of this stuff is coming up at the moment, and one of the things that was integral in the final days of Atlantis is the mixture of artificial intelligence with the negativity that created the perfect storm that sank Atlantis 10,000 years ago. But what I want to add is, prior to that, prior to it going wrong, prior to it being programmed to work against us, the fifth dimensional community of Atlantis in its Hasslon days, in the 1,500 years of the Golden Era, that was also incorporating quite a high degree of artificial intelligence into the systems that we were using at that time. It was part of the technological marvels that we would regard as being the very, very peak of our achievements at that time. So again, this goes back to the point, it is what you make it. Okay, it's the energy that you put into it. If you are stirring your hex pot and cackling and stroking your white cat going, what evil can I bestow upon the world, then that's what artificial intelligence will do for you. Okay, if you are wishing to use it for the betterment of humankind, the world that we live on, and you are solely pouring that energy into it, then that is what you will achieve with it. It is not, at this moment in time, a self-functioning, intelligent, organic soul being. It is what it is programmed to do. It does what it is told to do, and that is the way that it will continue. There's again, there's these kind of fears that circulate in the spiritual field, that all of a sudden Skynet will become it will become intelligent, and all of a sudden, like, the Terminators will take over the world. And we've all seen the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, haven't we? Terminator 2. They're fantastic fun, but they have a resonant point. And you know, I remember Skynet being the villain. You know, all of a sudden it becomes self-aware and wants to basically purge the enemy that it can see from the planet, and that enemy is, of course, organic life. So all of these things, they don't come to fruition, they don't come to our tables and our TV screens and our consciousness without having a foundation, a base, or maybe even, if you want to call it, predictive programming. A lot of the movies and the videos and the TV series and the Netflixes and all of the other stuff, they're created with almost like a bit of a malicious energy in the background to precede the fear, or precede the reality that we are expecting to experience, rather than solely regarding it as fiction. So in answer to all of the questions at the moment about artificial intelligence, if you want to use it, but use it for good. Okay, use it for the betterment of yourself, the planet around you, the people that come to you. I wouldn't advise making it the bulk of your work. Okay, that can only come from you. It can be an extension of you. It can tidy up what you can do. It can give you ideas if that's what you need. If you maybe have trouble with writing, then it can assist you to balance that out. As long as you are not using it to create your work for you and then selling that as yours, that's where the area becomes inauthentic. And obviously we are faced with a reality out there, the balance of light and dark, and the dark is obviously defending itself vigorously, where it is using artificial intelligence to control as much of this planet as it possibly can. But as we're seeing, and as I've described before on many occasions, the box of fireworks are lit, and then the rain starts, the fuses fizz, maybe one will go off, like bit of a kind of, oh, the Roman candle, oh, it's gone out. That's what we're seeing again and again and again. So we get these scary scenarios that need our attention. We need to put our energy into it. Oh my God, we got to be worried about this. Let's give it 100% of our fear. and then it just dies off, and it's on to the next drama, it's on to the next calamity, it's on to the next crisis. And I had an interesting comment on one of my recent posts. It's like, Tim, are you suggesting that we just stop fighting? Are you suggesting that we just stop resisting? If you're resisting on the same level if you are throwing the same resistance at the object, your focus and your target, then what is it that you've received from that? Okay, as you go to war, or as you go to battle with this foe, or this objective, how much energy, as you pour into it, what good is that doing? How is that coming back? How is it serving your body, your fields, your consciousness, your expansion, the world around us? There is an energy, all of the energies out there at the moment respond to our frequency, our vibration. So as we give, so we reap, so we sow. What we put in, we receive back again. So if we're constantly sowing anger, fear, resistance, war, conflict, doubt, suspicion, greed, all of the rest of it, you know the frequencies, you know the energy, then this comes back. There is an abundant field waiting to feed you with those energies. But if you are approaching the world with love, with peace, with joy, with groundedness, with unity, with trust is such a big one at the moment. Okay, it's yeah, we've got trust issues. We've got trust issues on the light path, and that's understandable. Remember that we're human. The world is difficult to trust at the moment, which is why it is so important to be honing our discernment, our intuition. We've been tested on that since the start. One of the first things that you or any other light worker out there will have been tested upon when entering the spiritual field will be discernment. Okay, how does it feel when you take it into your heart and you ask your heart the question, is this right or is it wrong for me? Doesn't matter whether it's right or wrong for anybody else, whether that works for this person or for that person. How does it work for you? How does it feel when you remove the mind, which is doing cartwheels most of the time because of what it's being presented with? How does it feel when you remove all of the noise on the outside, take it into your heart center, close your eyes, breathe, and then ask the heart whether this is authentic and whether it is in alignment with your frequency and your energy? And depending on how in tune you are with that particular method of discernment, you will either receive an answer immediately, because you will know, you'll just feel that sense of peace spreading throughout you. The tension will literally leave your body, or you will feel resistance. No, that is not for me. And a lot of us have actually got very good at this now, but we don't even realize that we've got good at it. We've become very kind of sort of snappy with yes, no, that's right, that's wrong. But that tends to go out the window a little bit when we're faced with something which is of a greater magnitude and seems to be filtering its way into every single aspect of our society. So again, just going back and touching one last time on the AI side of it. Me personally, I'm not fussed. That's the only way I could. I don't care. I don't give a monkeys about it really at the moment. It's not something that it neither serves me or it doesn't serve me. It is creating issues with, say, my social media, but that's a very first world problem, because people are being presented with versions of me that aren't me. And all I can say then is, well, if it, and this is all very down to the social media and how it's run, how Facebook's run, how Instagram's run, how YouTube and all the rest of it is run. I've got blue ticks on all of my stuff. Okay, if it hasn't got a blue tick next to it, it's not me. Somebody pretending to be me. And I know it's not just me that this is happening to. It's happening to just about everybody out there who's got a following of any size whatsoever, people will copy it, and it's being copied. If you put my name into the Facebook search bar, there's a list of Tim Wilde Ascensions with my profile picture. So that's the other maybe negative thing about AI on a surface level, is the fact that we've handed a lot of information and a lot of other bits and pieces over to it, but we did that when we first signed up for social media in the first place. So again, I'm Swiss Tim about this. I don't personally choose to use it because I'm not interested. It's the only, I don't know any other way to describe it. It doesn't float my boat. It doesn't do anything for me. I'll occasionally ask ChatGPT about something, but I'll do that once every 5 days. It's not something that I do on a regular basis, and I certainly don't use it to expand my work. I don't put words into it or anything else like that. It's just simply, maybe it's my generation. I just turned 53, so there you go. That's my take on it. Take it or leave it, basically. We are faced with it on a daily basis. Discernment, trust. Okay, if something doesn't feel right to you, then take it into your heart. That's our responsibility. It's not the responsibility of somebody else to do that for you. It's your responsibility to ascertain and assess that energy for authenticity in alignment with your soul. Love you all very much. I'm going to be joining my good friend Karen Main tomorrow for a beautiful integration workshop in Blandford in Dorset. If you haven't heard about it and you're in the area and you fancy coming and joining us, this is a space that's still available. It's a full-day workshop, and we're going to be in the most beautiful grounds of Claysmore School. See you all soon. Lots of love. Bye for now.